I want to make this video. I think this is really important to cover because there's a lot of tradcon nonsense, a lot of conspiracy theory nonsense being promoted about feminism, and they want to shift the blame, right? They want to say feminism is just an invention of the elites and that poor women were brainwashed into it and all of that bullshit. And an example is this video here by Uberboyo, how feminists are getting scammed. This is the video I'm going to respond by this guy Uberboyo, who's pushing a lot of tradcon nonsense, in my opinion. A lot of this Jungian archetype, Jordan Peterson type nonsense, and Nietzschean philosophy and all this crap. A lot of right wingers love this shit. I don't understand why, personally. And yeah, it is garbage. It is pseudoscience. It is irrational. It is posturing. He's one of these masculinity type people, and gotta watch your testosterone obsessed type people, right? These type of tradcons. And again, you can also see it here, right? Like his title, "Porn Addiction is Crippling You," right? So ranting against porn and all of that shit and fear-mongering about this. It settles right now, right? If you're against porn, you're anti-male. I'm dead serious on that. If you're anti-porn, you're anti-male, because you're denying men an outlet, and especially lonely men, right? But you also are demonizing and pathologizing male sexuality, right? This is what you're doing when you these nofap types, right? Pseudoscientific tradcon nonsense. I've done a video on nofap. I have debunked it. It is complete nonsense. They make a bunch of claims about neurology and psychology and addiction that they cannot prove, really, right? You can be addicted to pretty much everything, right? Can be addicted to coffee and drinking coffee, video games, whatever, right? But they're using the word addiction too lightly, right? And their only purpose, or only motivation behind this is that they demonize male sexuality, right? And fear-mongering about it. This is the purpose behind this nofap anti-porn rhetoric that this guy also uses. But yeah, let's talk about how he characterizes the feminist movement, right, in this shorts video.
The thing that annoys me about feminism is women never study its history, because if they did, they'd realize it's a scam.
It's a hate movement, right? It's a hate movement against men and boys. So you can say that feminism is a scam because it puts out a bunch of lies against men. It puts out the patriarchy theory, which is complete bullshit. It puts out the wage gap, which is also the wage gap myth, which is also bullshit. The pink tax myth, which is also bullshit. It scams people into believing a bunch of lies. So in that sense, yeah, it is a scam, but it's also a hate movement because it actually has political power and uses that to destroy men's lives and to destroy the lives of men and boys. That is what it is doing.
Scam ran by men.
That is the part I find disgusting about this video. Run by men. Fuck you, Uberboyo. Seriously. Fuck you. It is not run by men. Feminism is not run by men. It's run by women. And actually, doing even the most cursory research would show you that it is in fact run by women and not run by men. But he wants to scapegoat men and wants to blame feminism, the feminist hate movement, on men. That is disgusting. You are a liar, Uberboyo. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Only certain types of men. At the start of the 20th century, there was a man called Edward Bernays.
Yeah, so what? He wants to now go into Edward Bernays. And also he says at the start of 20th century, feminism is way older than the 20th century. And it wasn't created by Bernays. So what are you talking about, man?
A nephew of Sigmund Freud and one of the world's first marketers. He was approached by cigarette companies and they said, women have this taboo where they're not allowed to smoke, and so we can't sell our product to half of the population. And Edward Bernays said he would be able to fix this. He looked at women and he saw that women had this anxiety about their place in the world. There was this feminist movement that was rising at the time. And Edward Bernays managed to associate cigarettes with feminism and freedom and female identity.
That's called capitalism. That's called capitalism, Uberboyo. So what? I bet they also had slogans marketed to men for all kinds of products. What has this to do with the feminist hate movement that supposedly is run by men? This has nothing to do with feminism being run by men. This has something to do with marketing companies and capitalists marketing stuff to women, and they also market stuff to men. So what's your point? Like, this is stupid.
Rebellion and independence. He scammed them, and he got all these beautiful actresses to smoke these cigarettes as symbols of freedom. Torches of freedom is what they were called. And so of course
yeah, I mean, women, they smoke these cigarettes voluntarily. Wow. Do you want to create a victim narrative now that women started smoking more cigarettes, which they did voluntarily? Wow. I'm almost crying. Wow, this is so... Meanwhile, the feminist movement, the feminist hate movement, is influencing politics in such a way that men get less aid in, for example, when it comes to domestic violence, right? Or men get less money when it comes to healthcare than women. Or feminists are manipulating the political system in such a way to send Me Too hate mobs after men, right? Ruin men's lives. Those things are not voluntary. Those are forced on men. This is the difference, right? So women, oh yeah, they got more into smoking. Wow, whoop-de-fucking-do. Meanwhile, the feminists are pushing policies that force men into situations that they don't want to be in, right? Losing custody of their children, having to pay child support, being homeless, being impoverished. This is the fucking difference.
Trendy for women to start smoking, thinking that they're being all feminist, standing up for their rights, when really they were just making a group of elite men very rich.
Oh yeah, the elite men. Oh, the world is run by elite men, evil men. This is actually a feminist trope, by the way. This is patriarchy theory. Uberboy, you are a feminist. You are a feminist because you believe this. This is why I said that conspiracy theorists are similar to feminists and vice versa, because they believe the stereotype that the world is run by these powerful evil men, right? it is the same bullshit. It's the same bullshit. And I mean, let me look at this, right? For example, here, timeline of feminism, because he said feminism is run by men or by powerful elite men, right? And he started his analysis at the beginning of the 20th century, right? I mean, even Wikipedia, right? And it's reductionist, right? But here, starting at the 18th century, and it probably started way before that even, right? But here you can see, first is the woman, right? Who set the start point, right, for this movement, right? Here's another woman. Here you can see in this picture a bunch of women, right? The Society of Revolutionary and Republican Women. Yeah, when we go down that list, right, it's run by women, right? Simone de Beauvoir, Betty Friedan, who else, right? Joanna Elizabeth Smith, right? Who else? When you look at the feminist movement, it is clearly run by women. Clearly run by women. So, what is he talking about, run by men? This is complete bullshit. And it started way earlier than the 20th century. I know there are some people who push this Aaron Russo conspiracy, right? Like this guy Aaron Russo, he was in an interview with Alex Jones, right? And spouted some conspiracy nonsense about how feminism was created by the Rockefellers and it was done so women can't get taxed and all of this crap, which people still believe to this day. I mean, the Rockefellers must have been very unsuccessful then, because women still get taxed way less than men, right? And there are studies showing this. And they receive more benefits, right? The taxes, even if they get taxed, right, they receive the benefits and they control majority of the wealth, right? Or the personal wealth, the social spending, right? So the Rockefellers must have been really unsuccessful then. This is complete nonsense, man. And yeah, also, I mean, you have to only know one thing, right? Feminism is a hate movement. It is primarily against men and boys, to destroy them and to reduce their rights, to make them second-class citizens, or, well, men and boys are already second-class citizens, but even more so, right? This is the motivation. It is social dominance driven. It is hate driven. Okay, and it is run by women, run by privileged women. That is what feminism is. It is not run by some mustache twirling men, right, who are smoking cigars, right? It is not run by the Illuminati. It is not run by the Freemasons, man. It is, seriously, man, these conspiracy nutters derail all issues and turn it into their own bullshit. And deny women agency, right? They don't want women to be criticized, to actually receive judgment for their wrongdoings. They want to keep all the blame off of the women and blame men for everything. And that is disgusting. This guy is a man-hating loser. And he believes in a feminist patriarchy bullshit. Should be ashamed of himself. But again, he represents all these tradcons, right? Who believe the same bullshit. Feminism and these tradcons, it's the same misandrist bullshit. Keep blame off the women and put all the blame on men. It's the same bullshit. It's the same narrative. Just a different flavor, basically. But it's part of the same coin.